my new video. Today I wanted to talk about zero waste and plants because I thought this is something that hasn't been done too much before. You have tons of videos about zero waste in your everyday life online, but I thought that I could combine this, which is a big preoccupation of mine, with my passion, which is plants and gardening in general, because I think there is a few tips that I can give and that I'm trying to do on an everyday basis that can really help. So first thing first, what is zero waste? Well, this is not a thing, it's more a preoccupation. Understanding the fact that when you have something that you throw away in a garbage, it does not disappear, it goes somewhere. Either it gets burned, which release like carbon in the atmosphere, or it will go right to the oceans. And all really poor countries that now start to refuse our huge amount of waste. So yeah, zero waste is about wanting to save the planet and the humanity in general, which I know it sounds pretty big, but I think that's pretty much what it is. To be honest. And the zero waste is also considering the fact that us as consumer, we really do have a big impact. The big groups, the industrial ones, the food companies, and they offer what we want. So it's really based about the fact that if more and more people buy in bulk, if people buy less and less product with a lot of packaging, the industrial group and the big companies are going to start to want to offer that. Some waste are biodegradable, some waste are recyclable, which is great, but still, when you recycle something, you have to use water, electricity. So yeah, here's my tips to reduce your waste when gardening. First tip is concerning soil, because this is the thing, to me, I buy the most. So this is the most product that I buy that are usually packaged. What I do is I usually buy the biggest bag of soil. I took the biggest soil for houseplants possible, but you have even bigger bags. So if you have a garden, you can buy even bigger bag. I only have a tiny balcony to store it, so that's why. But I will always take the biggest because I know this is going to get used by myself. And storing it is really easy. If it gets a little bit dry, because for me in the balcony during the heat wave it dried a lot, I usually rehydrate it with a spray or some water when I'm using it to repot. But if you have a room when you can store it in without humidity, without that's pretty cold or cooler temperature, this is really great too. So this is the first tip I will give. The second tip is towards plants, because when you buy plants, most of them comes in plastic pots. So you have two options for this if you want to reduce waste. Either you keep the plastic pots, which I do. I replant all of my plants in plastic pots because it's like I said in my watering video, how and when to water. I like to take my plants to go bathe them and then put it back into their nicer pots. So I usually repot my plants into other plastic pots. I keep them, so I have a big collection with all of the sizes I need if I want to go up on a size, if I want to repot a plant that's getting a little bit crowded, the roots are getting crowded in the pot. And also I use them to do some propagation and some baby plants for my friends. So those I'm using. But if you're not like me and you have a big garden, you have to buy a lot of plants. Comes with tons of plastic pots, you don't know what to do with it. There's more and more companies. Actually, I saw some on Mass Drop and Kickstarter, I think, those are big companies, but I think it's going to get bigger, that does plants that are in biodegradable nursery pots. So you can put them directly into the soil. I even saw one company that it's biodegradable, but they also has fertilizer, like natural fertilizer inside. So when you put them into soil, it degrades, but also when it gets destroy, it releases the fertilizer. So I thought it was brilliant. So you can do this too. Concerning plastic pots too, I have a lot amounts of catgrass plastic pot that I buy into the market with a nice lady that I really like. What I do for those, either you can not do this and just grow your own, or if you have a garden, your cat will be really happy in your garden with the grass. But if you have an inside cat, you can grow your own. I bought a few months ago a huge, it's not a bin, it's a huge tray where I put a lot of cat grass. My cat was so happy. I'll insert a picture. But usually when I don't have, I will buy from that lady from the market that I really like, and I'll keep the pots and give them back to her. Because I know her, I know she really does reuse them, so it's not going to go to waste. She's going to keep using them. So it's part of one of the principles of zero waste is also not creating waste, but also reusing the stuff that you bought. Another thing that I am consuming when I'm gardening is fertilizer. So what I recommend is buying fertilizer that has the concentrated option. What I'm saying is this is concentrated. Every time I use it, I do even like a quarter of the cap, and I'll put it into a bottle. My husband used to drink a lot of those Perrier bottle because there's a bubbly water. Now we have a machine that does bubbly water, so we reduce our waste like this. But I've kept one of the old one. I'll put the caps, the solution, the fertilizer in it, and I will fill it with water. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes they sell you fertilizer that are already mixed with water. So first, it's a huge waste of money because let's be honest, this is the size. It's what, a liter? It's the size of that. This I get rid of into one session of fertilizer. So it will be, I will have had to buy a ton of those. So it's better to buy the concentrated solution. So when you do this though, do like me, tag your thing so people don't drink out of this. Even though it's in the toilet on top of a shelf where there's all of my products, still. To mark, I use that label thing. I use this a lot actually in the house since I'm trying to reduce my waste. It's really helpful. Another thing that I am using is a fertilizer in spray. This is a French brand, I think, under Green. But it's just to tell you, this is really handy because when I didn't thought about fertilizing my plants and I don't want to do a whole new watering session because I usually fertilize when I water so it doesn't burn the soil. This is really easy. You spray this below the leaves where the pores of the leaves are, and it's really handy. The thing is, I think there is a bigger size that exists. This is already diluted with water. You can spray them usually. So it goes by pretty quickly. So either I need to find another store that sells the bigger version, or the company should definitely put in some stores like huge container when you can refill yours, which will be first saving a ton of money, and it will be less to waste, which will be really nice. But till then, what I do is that I reuse those. For example, I have an empty one, and the spray and the mist is really great. It's like great quality product. So I decided to put water in it. I tagged it because I don't want people to use it to spray themselves sometimes. I do this when it's really warm because it has fertilizer in it. And even though I watered it and I rinsed it, I want to make sure, so I tag it. I've tagged it. But yeah, the more water spray I have around the house, the more often I will think about spraying my plants with a door, because most of my plants are tropical ones. I don't have a ton of desert one like cacti or cactus. But so yeah, I'm reusing them because it's a really great bottle and a really great spray. This one, for example, when I will be done with it, which I'm trying not to use too much because it's really luxury, it's also a little bit more expensive, I will use it to do a solution to get rid of insects. For example, I bought that huge black soap. It's called black soap in French, I'm not sure what's the English for. Whatever, I used 4 tablespoons of this. I put into a spray and then water, and it's a natural insecticide, and that's what I'm going to use it for. So I will tag it insecticide. I will do the same for this one. This is actually still a French brand, but it's a natural insecticide with that soap solution in it. It's not Castile soap, I don't think, but it's really close to it. And I will fill it with water so I can reuse it. Still, I'm not going to spray this because it's soapy, but this is a really great spray, so I should not get rid of this. I should use it because I'm gardening. I have so much plant that I will always be useful. So the last tip I can give you is the consummation of water, because when you garden, there is a ton of water that you use. The last tip I have is to actually use my water, my running water. When I take a shower, it will usually take 20 seconds till the water comes warm. So during that 20 seconds, there's a ton of water that gets to waste. So what I do is I usually take all of my watering can before I'll take a shower. I'll put them near the bathroom when I'm done with them or when they're empty anyway. So when I take a shower, I will refill the watering can when the water is running till it gets warm. And it's also a great tip because I usually shower at night. I love to go to my bed clean because my bed is clean, whatever, TMI. But it's great because, like I said in my video, how to water your plants, it's better to fill your water can at night because in the morning when you want to use it, the water is at room temperature, which the plants like. So yeah, if you take bath and you didn't put soap in your bath, it was just to relax or whatever, you can also fill your watering can. I usually do this when I take bath. I don't take bath really often, it's really bad. But sometimes when I have really bad migraine, this is the only stuff that will relieve me. So sometimes I'll do this and I will not put soap so then I can use the water. You can also use water to flush your toilet. If you have like a baby, for example, that you fill the bath, you can use then the little bathtub and you have at least 2 or 3 flushing, which is pretty great. It's not just to save money, it's also to save water in general. So yeah, those are all of my tips. I hope it was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have other questions on zero waste, please leave it below. I will answer personally because I did not want it to do just a zero waste video. There's a ton of them on YouTube. I wanted to make it related to plants and how I can help you guys in your passion, because I'm pretty sure if you're on that channel, it's because you're passionate about plants. So yeah, I hope it was helpful. And I will say bye and I'll see you in the next video.